Hi, my name is Varun, and in this video, I'd like to talk about my relationship with the sport of tennis. I played tennis throughout middle school and high school, and I was never any good at it, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I didn't make the team on my high school until junior year, and when I did, I was at the bottom of the ladder, the very, very bottom of the junior varsity roster. Senior year of high school, I was extremely motivated to climb out of there and to get my varsity letter, so I worked harder at that than I did at anything up to that point in my life, and my hard work paid off, and I ended up getting my varsity letter and playing on varsity doubles, making significant improvements in my athleticism, my stamina, my speed, and my strokes. I was extremely passionate about tennis at this point. Then going into college, I tried out for the club team, but the tryouts they're so brutal. They're like 200 people tried out, and like they cut 150 people the first hour, and then after that, I think I was just a little turned off from how hard it was to play tennis at college. And then I had a knee injury as well that year, which kind of just killed my passion for the sport. And I just never really got back into it until last couple of years, 2022, 2023, post-pandemic. I started to pick back up my racket. This is the same racket that I bought it in 2013. It's a little over a decade old now, and it's still solid. This was Djokovic's Head Speed Pro, the racket he was using at that time, and I liked it because it was a heavy racket, and I think I generally do a little bit better with heavy rackets than I do with lighter rackets. I just feel like I have more control over it, and I can hit with pace and control. So that's why. So I even demoed a couple of rackets. Last year I didn't buy one because they're expensive, but I think when I do buy a new racket, it's probably going to be the Yonex E-Zone 100, which feels great. Compared to the other ones I tried, it's just it's a sweet spot for control, pace, and also ability to generate spin. Obviously, your skill as a player is a factor in all of these, but that racket I think is the best suited for my play style and my level. Yeah, so last year I was just getting back into it. I took a bunch of lessons to get my strokes back up to speed because they were extremely stale and degraded after not playing for a half decade. I started hitting a lot with my friend who is much better than me. And even though I was losing every time we played, I was having a great time because while my strokes weren't as great as maybe even as they were at my peak in high school, I'm stronger and faster than I was back then, even though I'm heavier now. But I think the increase in athleticism definitely made it a lot more fun for me. For example, my serve, the technique isn't quite where it would be as compared to a player who's playing regularly, but I'm able to generate a lot of power, which is very helpful. I also I got a knee injury last year too, which kind of put a stall in my consistent tennis playing, and then that was in the early part of last summer, and then the late part of last summer I was busy with the move to New York, and that kind of ate up the second half of last year as well and made the tennis thing a little difficult because I was just busy moving to a new city and getting settled. But it's a new year, I'm in a new city. Last year, even in the periods where I wasn't playing tennis that much, the second half of the year I was watching a lot of it. I watched a lot of matches for Wimbledon last year, which I haven't done in a while, especially the big final between Alcaraz and Djokovic, which I had a blast watching all 4.5 hours of. And when I came to New York, I went to the US Open in person, and I saw 12 hours of tennis, and I loved every minute of it. It was so much fun. The atmosphere was electric, whether it was at Ash or in Louis Armstrong. Yeah, even this year I started off on a good foot. I haven't played much tennis this year yet, but I watched a lot of the Australian Open because I was actually in India for a couple of weeks in January, and I haven't seen too much of the Australian Open before because the time difference between Australia and in America, it's too much, but the time difference between Australia and India is not as bad, so I was able to catch a lot of the matches. I even saw the final. I was rooting for Medvedev, but you can't have everything, and yeah, no, it was great tennis, and I'm looking forward to watching not just the main Grand Slams, but a lot of the other major tournaments this year as well, such as Indian Wells. And this summer is also just going to be great because on top of all the Grand Slams, we're going to have the Olympics as well. So as a tennis fan, it's going to be great. And I'm looking forward to playing a lot more this year, not just in the winter clinics I'm planning to sign up for in the near future, but maybe signing up for some recreational singles or doubles tournaments, finding other passionate players that I can hopefully build hitting partner relationships with, and keep my passion and skill for the game developing, because I've found that this particular aspect of my life is very important to me. And yeah, just tennis, I just get a lot out of it, and I just feel like I'm the best version of myself when it has a consistent and important part in my life. Thanks for watching.